Can you please summarize your resume in about 3 to 5 minutes, and can you please include your teaching experience?
Sure. Well, as far as my educational background, I did get a AA degree in liberal studies from Santa Monica College.
Mm-hmm.
It is a city college. Also, I did get my bachelor's from Cal State University with a psychology degree. It was actually, my focus was actually on education. So I've taken a lot of, educational, like psychology courses or child development courses. Now, as far as my professional working experience, I have worked with all grade levels from, elementary all the way up to high school. For elementary and middle and high school, I was working with LAUSD, which is Los Angeles Unified School District. And also for middle school, I've worked at an after-school program actually for the YMCA program, which was in Placentia, California.
Mm-hmm.
There I was actually promoted from a program leader to a program specialist, which is in charge of curriculum development and other managerial, like risk management and other responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have experience in, other fields as far as customer service or sales or other things, but I do have a passion for kids, and so I have been focusing on teaching or educational fields.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'd like to talk a little bit more about what you did at Equity Residential. Looks like you provided friendly customer service to calm them,
Right.
calm the residents down because they were angry or upset. Can you give me an example of when a customer would call and they would complain about something, and how would you resolve that situation?
Well, first I would actually ask questions as far as trying to get to understand what the problem is, and then I would notify, my superiors, or if it's something I can help with personally at the moment, I would. But if it's something that is out of my hands, I would get all the information and pass it down to the proper authorities and make sure it gets done or fixed. And then of course there's a follow-up to make sure that it has been fixed. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next question, I want to talk about the YMCA. I've noticed that you with students after school program, and what did you find be the most challenging? And how did you overcome that challenge?
The most challenging for me, especially working with middle school age students, was keeping them motivated, or at least interested into whatever activity was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that was the hardest for me working with this group of kids. So what I did was just basically try to be more creative and try to find activities that would satisfy what we are trying to teach them, but at the same time keep them very interested and active and be proactive in the activities.
Okay, good. Thank you. And there's something on your resume about being fluent in both Korean and Spanish. Can you tell me the process that you took to learn Spanish?
Oh, that was actually just growing up. I lived, I was born in Brazil, but also I have lived in other, Central American or Southern American countries, where they speak Spanish. So I kind of grew up with Spanish, English, and Korean.
Oh, interesting. Great. That's a good aspect to have. All right. Well, let's go on to this question. The next question. Why do you want to come to Korea, Steph?
I've never actually lived there, and I've known for a couple of years already that teaching was something that I did want as a career. So I thought, this would be a good chance for me to go experience, Korea while teaching, doing something that I enjoy.
Good. Thank you. Next question, the team-related questions. Suppose you were dealing with, let's say, 7th grade ES students.
Mm-hmm.
Would you explain the difference between increase and decrease?
How would I explain increase and decrease? Okay.
Yes, and decrease to the students, yes.
Well, are we talking about specifically Korean students, 7th graders, or just 7th graders in general?
7th grade ES students.
ESL students?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I would do it in many different ways, depending on, there's a lot of things that I would consider, like as far as, what the general students, like what they're good at, as far as, are they visual learners, are they, auditory learners or whatnot. So once I figured that out, I would probably cater to that. So if they were visual learners, I would maybe draw 2 circles on the board, and then if I draw more circles, I would describe that as increase in numbers or increase in size or whatnot, But it would, in my opinion, it would depend on, what kind of learners they are mostly.
Okay. Good. All right. Similar type of question. Same group of students. Would you explain the words fun and funny? Can you explain it as you're to explain it to the students?
You want me to explain fun and funny?
Correct. Yes.
Well, something that is fun is something, for example, you like to do. So if video game is fun for you, then that is what fun is. But funny is when something or someone is being funny. So, if you say a joke, then you're being funny, but you wouldn't be considered fun for that joke. So I would make that distinction, I guess.
Okay, good. Question, very similar type of question. How would you explain the difference between bored and boring?
Very similar question, like you said. But if it is bored, I like to give personal examples, so something that the kids would relate to so that they can really understand personally. So if it's bored, I would try to paint a boring situation and then try to ask them what they would feel in that situation, which would be bored, right? And then boring would be something else. I would, just try to make that distinction,
Thank you. Next question. Suppose you were dealing with the same group of students, and you were in the classroom. You ask a question to one student. However, the student doesn't say anything. However, you have to get the student to say something in the classroom. How would you do it?
I would first try to get other classmates to be involved to get this target student engaged. Depending on what that question would be, I would try to, either get other students involved and then give kind of that pressure for the students, or not really pressure, but, that kind of like a peer motivation to be involved. But again, I think it really would depend on what I'm trying to ask or have him answer.
Okay, good. Stephen,